And hey folks, welcome back to the channel here at Dynamic Disc. We're going to be bringing you another Dynamic Duel, and it's going to be double style, featuring a mix of familiar faces and some new ones. I am Dustin Murray, and I am joined by Chris Clemons. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How are you?
Doing great, man. Glad to be a part of this as we have yourself and Hanna Huynh taking on newcomers Mason Ford and Valerie Mandujano. And we're starting off here at Hole 1 at Jones E Shorts.
Yeah, this is a hole I've thrown a lot, and the win today was kind of like a left to right win. So instead of going through the tight gap, I chose to go out wide, and Mason did the same.
Yeah, with that Mando going out wide, it's definitely an option, and we see Mason Ford ripping a forehand. I feel like this is something he's trying to implement into his game more from watching some of the videos he's put out in the offseason. And we are playing the Mixed Worlds format, which is best shot, but you only use a player's drive twice in a row. You cannot go a third time in a row. Is that correct?
Yeah, and I enjoy that format because it brings a lot of strategy into it. Yeah, you can see the wind gust there. It was a little windy on this day.
Yeah, and of course, you know, you've been with Trilogy for a really long time, and you know those plastics pretty well, and you put that one right in the basket.
I do, and I've been spinning the off season here, and so we've had a lot of wind practice. So it was a kind of a good win for me. I just put it on a good line and let it fly.
And of course, Hanna Huynh just recently got picked up by Westside Disc, and yeah, there you're seeing evidence of welcome to Emporia.
Yeah, that was a sheriff, and I think she nicked a branch on the way out, and it just lifted the disc really high. And this is a getaway right here. Yeah, the wind was kind of right to left, so I was kind of trying to fight it, and it left us with a longer putt than I would like.
Yeah, it's one of those things where people will look at the distance and look at how open it is and think, oh, this should be pretty straightforward, but not in these winds. As we see Mason going back up there with the forehand again.
Yeah, his forehand is really smooth. He's really been working on it. His backhand form is, one of the best in the game, and so it's not surprising that his forehand form is really good as well. That was a great run by me. No, that was a headwind, and so I expected the disc to kind of lift, and the wind just really didn't do anything.
So we're back with Mason Ford here again, a guy who I think caught a lot of recognition at the end of last year just due to his win at the Music City Open, but also placed 11th at Worlds and has several other A and B tier wins and top 20s in the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And he was a really big pickup for Dynamic this year. Same with Valerie. Valorie's, a top 10 ranked woman in the world on UDisc and also had some fantastic results last season. And yeah, just a nice little combo for Dynamic to pick up in the off season.
Yeah, they're both great, and either one of them, can go win on any weekend. If they get, some fortunate breaks here and there and just go and slay it, they can win any event. So they're great pickups. That was an enforcer right there. The wind kind of beat it down, but on this hole we had to use Hanna's drive, and I just kind of threw for a little bit of practice.
It seems like one of those holes that can get a little bit challenging due to the low ceiling that kind of guards the basket, kind of in that circle 1 to circle 2 range. So definitely can get hung up sometimes. But
yeah,
chip shot there.
And for playing this course many, many times, I'd never played this hole from that location. And there's a couple out here that we play today that I've never even played. So it was fun. There were quite a few ace runs and stuff. It was nice.
Yeah, we see everyone just kind of chipping up to the basket to kind of tap in some pars here. And what was it like kind of welcoming some new teammates? And again, I know that you're kind of a veteran. You've been with the Trilogy family since, 2014 when you were with Latitude. So this is kind of home for you. So what's it like kind of, welcoming in the new members here?
Yeah, it was great. I remember when I first learned about Mason coming and Valerie, I messaged Mason on Facebook and, congratulated him and told him I was excited. And then when I saw them, I think it was last week now, I saw them in the warehouse. I was there, and then they just kind of showed up, and I just got super excited. I was like, "Are you guys ready to shop? Check out all the discs, all the cool stuff." And they were excited. I I remember my first time coming to the warehouse and checking out all the discs, so I can only imagine what they were feeling.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. As we see, you put a really good drive up there, and so Hanna looking to swing one out wide there. And what's it like for Hanna? Because I know that this is kind of a big step for her in her disc golf career. I know she's been playing since officially on PDGA since 2018, and has done pretty well at local events and things of that nature. And that's kind of that foundation to kind of think, okay, maybe I should try to go for this, is to kind of get settled into your local scene first. And it seems like she's taken that expansion. So what's it been like for her kind of join the Trilogy family with you, as we see Valerie sink a nasty putt?
Yeah, that was a great putt. Yeah, it's been really good for her, and I met her last year, and I remember I caddied for her. The first time we actually met, she caddied for me at the Portland Open, and then that next weekend I caddied for her, and she went and shot like 965 or something, and I was like, oh my god, like she's really good. And we played more and more throughout the summer, and I got to caddy for her at the Farragut Open. And I knew that she had the ability, to compete on tour, and it was just a matter of getting that experience and playing big events. She's throwing a grace here, just a pure hyzer, and that was a sweet shot.
Yeah, really well done. Definitely can tell she's got some really good form already. So really good foundation to work from, as we see you swing out a backhand hyzer as well over here towards this basket that's playing just under 300 feet. Seems like everyone's put themselves in pretty good position. And I've actually seen Hanna do some commentary as well for some stuff. And so seems to be, has that media background as well a little bit.
Yeah, she's great. She's great on social media, and she's done some commentary. She did it for the Farragut Open that she played in back in September. Ooh, so close. But yeah, she's good, and she loves disc golf. She's been playing now for 7 or 8 years, and just kind of started playing tournaments later into her career. And so she definitely has a lot of experience, but she just needs more experience, playing big tournaments. I'm throwing an enforcer here. When I talked to Mason, I was like, yeah, I think I should have thrown something a little flippier, because the wind was coming left to right, and I just didn't want to flip my disc. You can see how her trespass kind of flipped right there, because the wind's blowing pretty severe. And so I think if I swung it out wider, it would have been a lot better.
Yeah, now we see Val just kind of coast one up there, also kind of getting beat down by the wind a little bit. And again, just awesome seeing Mason work on this forehand. He's going to put one out high and wide and try to swing it in, and it seems to be fighting back the way that he wants. Doesn't get caught up on a tree, could be great. And
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah. And so when he threw his, I was like, that's how I wanted to throw mine, right there. And I think he threw a defender, and I was like, okay, I should have thrown my defender. I threw a more overstable enforcer.
Yeah, what's kind of been your focus on the offseason? Because you definitely had some pretty big top 15 finishes last year, and had a good finish at the Pro Tour Championship, and you've always been considered like the strongest lefty in the game, nasty forehand overall. What's kind of been your big focus in the offseason? What are you looking to bring into this next season?
I've been doing a lot of putting, and of course working on my backhand a lot. That's kind of something I concentrate on in the off seasons, working on my backhand. Because my forehand, it's pretty easy to do. It comes very natural, and the backhand's just not as natural to me. And so, yeah, just putting and backhand. And for me, the mental game is one of the biggest things, is being confident in myself and making the right choices. If I do that, I feel like I can do well at a lot of tournaments. There's that forehand right there. That was a bio defender, a pretty overstable one, and I was kind of just smashing it and seeing what happened.
Fair enough. As we see Mason Ford chipping up a forehand here and gets some decent ground action, and something that they can definitely work for him. It gives them an option, gives kind of Valerie the green light to try to go for something here. And that's also well done.
Yeah, that was a great shot. I think the wind here was a little bit of right to left, if I remember right.
I know that you're saying that there was kind of swirly conditions out there, which I guess is pretty characteristic of the area. Kansas always known for their wins in disc golf, is okay. That was a decent little bid.
Yeah. I was running it with my old beat up Judge. It almost doesn't have a beat on it anymore. It's pretty much an EMAC Judge.
So, oh, Warden at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it sunk the hole that the basket's inside of.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, it's in. See?
I'm not sure that rule has really been modified too much. I think it still has to be, in the basket.
Ooh. Yeah, so we missed an opportunity there. It happens, especially on windy days like that. You really don't want to putt like 15 footers because kind of anything can happen. You can get blown out. It makes short putts hard.
Yeah, this is like kind of one of my favorite holes to watch on Jones East because it's, kind of that fair par 3 distance, and it's a little bit downhill, and it's just, I don't know, kind of a more picturesque as we see Mason Ford swing that one out wide, just hoping it's going to finish, and
that was a great
certainly
shot.
Does. Skates up the circle one. Yeah, really well done.
Yeah, I think that was an evader. And he kept that like completely flat. He didn't let the wind get under it, Hanna, I think she was throwing a sheriff. This was kind of an awkward win. It was like right to left. So if you're a right-handed player and you kind of put some ante on it, it's going to get beat down like hers did. And you can see that's an enforcer, and that's just getting blown straight left. But if you put too much hyzer on it, then you're going in the road left and hitting a car. So it's a very, very particular shot, and Mason executed it perfectly.
Yeah, not a bad approach shot there from Hanna. Kind of gives you a chance to try to do something special.
Right, and this is something I'm kind of teaching her. She threw her harp, and I threw a harp as well. And I think from there, with that right to left wind, throwing a forehand would be more beneficial because the wind will be beating down on the top of it and kind of keep it straighter like my backhand did there. And so that's something that you learn, with experience.
And so we're kind of getting through the front 9 here, and it's a pretty tight score. I think you were telling me that Mason and Valerie had actually won mixed doubles at Worlds a year or two ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, in Utah last year. The last couple years I play with Missy Gannon, and we've done pretty well. And last year was super hot during that, and I know that some people had to drop out and passed out, and Mason just threw a great shot there. That was a getaway. And I remember I was debating throwing a forehand on this hole, and when I saw him throw the getaway, I was like, all right, I'm not going to let this new guy show me up with my own disc. I've been throwing that disc for a long time. So I was like, all right, I'm going to throw the getaway too. And so luckily I executed it really well.
Yeah, you really did. And I know that is one of the favorite discs for Mason. Some of the videos I've seen, he's really been liking the getaway as kind of like his go-to fairway driver. As we're going to see you have a good chance for birdie there. So pretty easy tap in, as you and Mason both really executed off the tee really well here on hole number 9. As we now get into our back 9. We're just kind of flying through this. Oh, my. Nicely done. This is, one of those shots that just has that little gap at the very end right to the basket. And, Mason, again, has executed that pretty well. And I think get some finish. Valerie will also do well for herself here. And, yeah, not bad.
Yeah. That's a maverick, I think, Valerie threw here. I think Hannah's throwing a grace. This one's kind of beat in, and she just puts it on a great line. Just hyzer flip.
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot. That really, kind of gives you the freedom to do really whatever you want, as that's absolutely parked, and this is a nice line.
Yeah, that's an Explorer, my more overstable one, and I just wanted to put it on a nice line. I think it was kind of a tailwind, tailwind straight shot. You can kind of throw almost any disc in your bag.
Oh, nice bid.
This is a hole that Paige Pierce aced in mixed doubles back when Worlds was held here in 2017, I believe, or 2016 maybe even. Picked up a stroke there. That was nice. So on this hole, Hanna and I had to use her drive. We debated on the hole before, which putt did we want? Did we want like a 30-foot putt, or did we want, the guaranteed like 15-footer? And so we went with the guaranteed one, because if you can guarantee yourself a birdie, you usually want to take it. That's good strategy.
Yeah, really well done. So Just kind of trying to chip up here and walk away with the par, and it's like a pretty clean backhand here from Hanna. Is going to skate up there.
Yeah, it's a Latitude 64 Trust. And I'm just throwing a harp up here, just kind of giving it a run. This is a new one. I usually have pretty old beat ones in my bag, and this is a new one I'm trying to beat in. So it's pretty stable.
Yeah, position here for Valerie to have a chance to maybe get a stroke back with the little birdie putt. Just a little short there, but now Mason will have a chance to try to claim it. And also just a little low, maybe wind knocking him down a little bit. Seems like there was a little bit of a tailwind from the flag.
Yeah.
Nice putt from Hanna, though.
Yeah, she's a really good putter. She surprised me early on whenever we'd play together. She'd make, 50-footers look easy. And I'm like, teach me that. Like, that's hard. This was a trust, and it was just getting manhandled by the wind right there.
Yeah, you could tell it just never really wanted to get over. And so Hanna now playing the backhand hyzer, and unfortunately it's catching a little bit of wind out left, but still not the worst position.
Yeah, on this hole you really want to be close, especially on a windy day. Putting on a raised basket is a tough thing to do.
And Val trying to play the low skip, and it gets up there decently. I think maybe edge of circle one. We'll see if Mason can try to put one a little bit closer. Like, as you said, elevated basket, windy conditions, dangerous recipe. Definitely want to try to give yourself an easier one.
Yeah, he caught a little branch there, knocked him down. I think he would have been quite a bit closer. See, and even that roll away, that 20-footer in a headwind, that's not something you really want to have, because anything can happen.
It's a good up, though, from Hanna. Kind of make things easier to make sure you could secure the par, and now Mason kind of has the green light with that from Valerie to see if he can make something happen and catches some metal. So, yeah, pretty easy tap-in pars here on this hole as we head on to 13.
Hanna's throwing a Boatman here, which is a disc that I remember messing around with years and years ago, and I really liked it. It's a good kind of underrated disc. Not a lot of people throw it.
Yeah, I kind of throw a Sargent in that slot, but the Boatman's definitely a really solid disc. I think it's like that 10 or 11 speed, so kind of that hybrid driver as you lace a pretty good one down the fairway.
Yeah, that was a getaway. Just put some Annie on it and let it fly. I believe this is a Defender by Mason.
Yeah, with this being a par 4, if you can just get yourself out into open space and give yourself a clean approach, that's really the name of the game on this one. And it seems like everyone's put themselves in a good enough position that they really get that chance to chip up and get that birdie.
Oh, I love it. That's the line.
Hanna liked to take the tighter gap. She comes from playing in the woods, so, I guess the main gap was too open.
Fair enough. Get your practice in,
That's
find
right.
ways to create shots.
I think that's a Justice right there. Just a nice little smooth up shot. And you can see there's a lot of different baskets on this course right now, and there's a lot going on. They're making a new layout for Worlds, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's something that McKay's been talking a lot about, is like doing this kind of combination of East and West to kind of make this, championship level course that, people will enjoy. And so, yeah, I know there's been kind of a lot of scrambling going on here as we see a nice birdie putt there from Hanna.
Yeah, she's knocked a couple of those down, and that makes my job easier. Every 20-foot putt's a little bit of stress, and so if you don't have that stress, it makes everything else easier. And this hole, it says 390, but it plays pretty dang far. I threw an enforcer there. It's kind of a right to left wind, so I kind of got beat down. And Hanna was like trying to throw kind of an Anheuser and just pulled it a little bit, but this wind makes this hole pretty tough to get all the way there, and it's uphill too.
Yeah, the uphill nature certainly makes it play longer than that 390 that you see up there, as we see Valerie put one up there and gives a chance for Mason just to try to open up and see if he can get himself near that circle one area. So trying to play a bit of a turnover here over this bush and just kind of gets knocked out of that turnover.
Yeah, you could kind of tell that just got knocked down by the wind. But, Mason and Valerie are from Texas, and so they're no stranger to the wind. Maybe not the extremes of Kansas, but they've definitely played in their fair share of wind.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. As that was a great bid from Hanna. Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of pumping her up for that one because I've seen her make those a lot of times before, and I was like, come on, we need you. I was like, just send it. Just send it. She was like,
that ties
okay.
It up.
Yeah, that was huge.
This is a little shot.
Yeah, this is a getaway right here. Hanna kind of added the getaway to her bag a couple weeks ago, actually. She hadn't thrown it much, and then she tried mine out, and she was like, that's amazing. I was like, yeah, I know.
Oh, and look at this. That was a nice little run at the basket. That's a pretty much tap-in birdie for you now.
Yeah, it was a little triple X. It's one of my go-to short forehand shots.
Val kind of skates up there, maybe just on the edge of circle one. So a chance for Mason now just to kind of run at it. Maybe a little low out of his hand, but might get some good ground action still. And yeah, kind of skates up there.
Yeah, a little hovercraft. I think that might have been an EMAC Truth, I want to say.
And I mean, she's just a monster on the putting green.
Yeah, she really is. It's probably one of her strongest attributes. And, so if you're a player who has a strong putt, that kind of makes everything else easier, in my opinion. You don't have to feel like you need to park stuff so much. You don't have to throw stuff so close. You can rely on your putting. And I threw a felon there, and I hit that. There's that one tree in the middle of the fairway on the right, and Hanna pulled it and almost killed Anthony. You can see him in the blue in the tree. She was
fine. I mean,
out.
Anthony's not too important to Dynamic or anything like that, so it'll be fine.
Yeah, and I feel like Anthony gets his haircut like every week, so he didn't have to go this week. He got a free cut.
Good. You're just thinking about his finances, and I'm sure he appreciates that, as that's a clean drive there.
Yeah, this hole's always a fun one to throw just because, it's kind of open, a little closed off the tee, but it's downhill, so you can throw mid-ranges at it and get all the way there, even though it's 375. It's a fun one.
I think that was a trust out of Mason, and got up there pretty decent. And can she keep the magic alive? I mean, yeah. What? Okay, dude.
She was surprised. I think out of her hand, she was like, "Oh no!" And then it just hyzered right in there. And I was like, "Thank God, I wasn't gonna make that." I was like an 80-footer.
She has been crushing just anything. I mean, within 100 feet of the basket.
Yeah, and she's just been running it. And so I was telling her, because at first she was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna lay up," and I'm like, "No, run it. You got to. Like, you're feeling it. Just run it." Yeah, this hole is one of my favorites to play, just because it's a nice lefty backhand. You can just kind of throw it out there and let it ride.
Yeah, definitely some open airspace out on that left-hand side for the lefty backhander, righty forehand. We're going to see a turnover out of Hanna, see if it can keep that turn. And it's keeping it for a good while, but now starting to stall out, but gets up there a decent ways.
Yeah, it's a Sheriff. She recently put that in her bag as well, and I feel like it's kind of filled a hole for her, because she was throwing a trespass, but that Sheriff just gets more distance. And so she threw it on here a couple weeks ago on this hole and put it like 20 feet, with that Anheuser flex shot. And I know Valerie throws the Sheriff as well, and she loves it.
Yeah, I believe that was like in her top 5 favorite disc that was out just not too long ago, as we see Mason beaming one down the fairway. This one looks beautiful. Makes the catch cam turn around.
Yeah, I think that's that getaway again. And he just put it on the line and let it fly.
And you've proven you can putt as well.
That's right. That's right. I was like, all right, give me a chance. Give me a chance.
Let me taste the chains.
Yeah,
that's a great putt as well from Val.
We went out the day before in practice, and on this hole I had that same putt. and I practiced it for like 20 minutes. So I was like, all right, I want this putt.
It's just that grace again out of Hanna, and she's put this on a beautiful line up to the basket.
Yeah. This one we had to take her drive, and we kind of talked before we got here, and we knew that we were up by 1. So I was like, all right, we need a chance, a chance to get a birdie here.
Yeah, pretty solid shot there from Valerie, and now Mason's going to try to swing the forehand. It's out a little wide. Going to have to really get some good ground action here to skate it up near the basket, and just didn't quite make it all the way there. So lengthy bids for both teams here. Ooh, nice bid.
Yeah, it felt good. It was the right idea. She used up all of her good ones.
Forgiven, because she has crushed it throughout the round with those. We see a little bit of a stepper there from Valerie that sails over the basket, and this is it. This is the moment to see if they can tie you, force a playoff, and it's metal, but not quite.
Yeah, I thought that one was good. It was a little right to left win. I thought I was going to get that lift right in there.
Well, Chris, it was an honor getting to work with you and kind of cover this doubles coverage, man. Really appreciate you, and good win, man.
Yeah, thank you. It was super fun. I love doing these.
Absolutely. So make sure that you subscribe, folks, and catch some more content here at Dynamic Disc.